The North Wyke Farm Platform is an exciting new facility that has been built by BBSRC and hosted here at North Wyke, part of Rothamsted Research, as a national capability for researchers to come and better understand aspects of grassland farming and farming sustainability. The farm platform consists of about 80 hectares of land. Here we've split it into 3 different farmlets, each of about 20 hectares, all comprising different ways to manage beef and sheep farming.
The reason we can capture all the water in one place on the farm platform is down to our soils and the slopes we have here. We have clay soils starting at about 30 centimetres deep, so any water landing on the land will percolate down through the soil, either run off the top or hit that clay there and then run sideways down the slopes. And to intercept that, we put in French drains. The drains are 80 centimetres deep, they have a perforated pipe at the bottom of them, and then they're backfilled to the top with stone. So all of the water coming off the 12.5 hectares of land behind us is being channelled down to this H-flume. Because we know the geometry of the front of this H-flume and where the water's being channelled through, we simply need to calculate the level inside that, the water level inside that, to be able to turn that into a flow rate. So coming through here at the moment, on a drizzly day in the middle of summer, we've got approximately 1/2 to 3/4 of a litre per second. But during a heavy rainfall event, we could expect up to 100 litres per second coming through this flume. In here we have a range of sensors that measure the water quality parameters, so the water that's coming off the fields. The first one we have here is a dissolved organic carbon sensor. I'll take it out for you to have a look at. So this is a UV absorption sensor. The wavelength of light is a wavelength of light is passed through the water, and it measures what's absorbed. So that's measuring dissolved organic carbon. And at present, we can see that in the last 15 minutes, the DOC content was 22.5 milligrams per litre. Another sensor we have. This is a multi-parameter sonde measuring a range of sensors, a range of parameters. This one's measuring pH, conductivity and temperature, turbidity, chloride, ammonium, and dissolved oxygen.
The 3 systems that we're comparing on the farm platform are increasing the use of nitrogen on the existing permanent grassland to reduce the amount of nitrogen that we use, and increasingly use biologically fixed nitrogen from legumes, and thirdly, in a rotational system, to include new varieties of grasses and legumes.
So all this data's pumped into the boxes, the computers. So we've got at the present 2.9 milligrams per litre of nitrate and nitrite N coming off the fields. So the carbon sensor's reading 21.4 milligrams per litre of dissolved organic carbon. This device is the bubble meter, so this is a device measuring flow inside the flumes. So at present we've got 25.2 millimetres of water level inside the flume, which equates to 0.6 litres per second. So all that data is transferred to a radio telemetry unit inside this box, and that's beamed up to site using UHF radio every 15 minutes.
We're comparing the different farms through a number of means. We're looking at all aspects from production through to looking at the environmental impact, for example water quality, air quality and grassland quality. But on top of that, we're also looking at the economic aspects of that in terms of how much fertiliser we're using, how much diesel we're using, how many man hours and tractor hours that are going into managing each of the 3 systems.
We're looking at a 3-dimensional landscape of the farm platform. This is created from a 3D geographical information system using an aerial photograph overlaid on LIDAR and also digitised information. We can see In red, the dots are the 25-metre sampling grid, and the blue lines are the drainage from the hydrologically isolated fields.
One of the big challenges in the food security area is about feeding more people globally. At North Wyke here we're set up now to understand how we can do that on a grassland system.